Hello and welcome back to the podcast. This week's special guest is Alex, who talks about all the little moments of euphoria from when they were questioning their identity, and also what it was like joining university and finding a community there. It's a great episode. I hope you enjoy. Here it is. Hello and welcome to Euphoric, the podcast discussing gender euphoria and what it means to different people. Today we have Alex to talk about their experience. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. So this is something I always do just to start off, and that is ask my guests to explain what gender euphoria is. So would you mind doing that for us?
I think gender euphoria is different for everyone, really. But I think personally for me, gender euphoria is just completely feeling who you are in that moment, feeling completely sort of like yourself, like you wouldn't change anything. You're just so comfortable in that moment as who you are, and sort of you've got so much confidence in that, sort of like the confidence you've got, you sort of feel like you take over the world with it. You just feel so strong and powerful in yourself.
So do you remember the first time you experienced gender euphoria?
I think there were lots of little sort of moments, sort of when I was first sort of questioning myself and sort of my gender identity and all of those things. But I think one of the first times I can remember feeling really like euphoric in myself was about a week into my first job. It was basically I had just decided on the new name I was going to go by, and I told one of my colleagues to call me Alex instead of my birth name, and just that was the first time I'd said it out loud, and it felt so amazingly right. It felt for the first time I was introducing myself, like my real and true self, and like he didn't question it in that moment. He was like, yeah, I'll call you Alex, that's fine. I'm just like, that just felt amazing. There was no questioning, it was just fully accepted that was that. I'm Alex.
That's great. Did you have a similar thing when your correct pronouns were used for the first time?
I think absolutely definitely when I had my pronouns used for the first time, it felt just amazing again. It felt like someone was referring to me as my true self. Thinking back, I think it was in the comments section of some video online, and they were just like, and I'm just like, wow, that is just amazing. I've never had that before, and suddenly again it felt I was being referred to as myself, not this person I'd been pretending to be all my life.
Do you have any other particular moments that you remember of gender euphoria?
I think definitely one of my biggest moments of gender euphoria was when I got my hair cut quite drastically. My hair used to be down to sort of my shoulders, and when I moved up to uni a couple of weeks in, I decided finally no one is going to talk me out of it. I'm going to get my hair cut really short to just above my ears, and I wear glasses when I get my hair cut. I take those off, so I couldn't see what the hairdresser was doing for the entirety of the haircut, really. So I remember the moment when I put my glasses back on, I looked in the mirror and I was just like, wow, that's me. Like, why have I not done this before? And it finally felt for the first time I was seeing myself, like, properly, no hiding who I was. It was just in the mirror. That was me, no more lying. I'm Alex, I'm genderfluid. And that was it. It felt so amazing in the moment.
Yeah, so that was just after you moved to uni. So have you felt that since you've moved to uni, there's been kind of more freedom to be yourself?
100%. Moving to uni for me it's been a fresh start somewhere that no one knows me, no sort of assumptions about me, no preconceptions, no nothing. I came completely fresh start. People here only know me as Alex, with generally my pronouns are they, them. They know me as that, and no one has questioned that, and it has just felt absolutely amazing. I have been so accepted moving up to university. I think I've had no one question me. Everyone has just accepted me for who I am, who I've told them I am, and just the people I've found as well. I found some amazing communities of people, especially a couple of communities which are majority LGBTQ plus people. That's something I've never had before, and it just feels so amazing to have a community of sort of like-minded people, and it is just absolutely amazing for me.
Yeah, why do you think community is so important?
I think community is so important, especially sort of just generally, but especially in the LGBTQ plus community, because you're finding people who you know will be accepting, and that is something that is scary, whether someone will accept you or not. But in the LGBTQ plus community, you know those people. Some are the same as you, some are very similar, but they're all got that fear of, will you be accepted? And in that community, you know you will be. And it's so important to have that. And I've found that whilst I've been questioning my gender identity over the past sort of year and a bit, as I've been sort of finding sort of different people in the LGBTQ plus community, people who've gone through similar experiences to me, that has helped me so much. And it's definitely really important, I think, when you're questioning or just anything like that, to find someone who's been through a similar experience as you have. And definitely the LGBTQ community is always going to be supportive of you and of that, and that's why it's so amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you find that being around more LGBTQ plus people has allowed you to find more joy in your identity?
It's 100% being around the community has helped me find more joy, because I know that I've found somewhere that I will be accepted, which is somewhere that back home I've never been too sure of. And I'm out to most people, I'm still not out so much at home. So when I am at home, I can't quite be myself, but I know as soon as I'm up here, around the friends I've made here, around other people in the LGBTQ plus community, I will have that freedom to just be myself. They won't question it, they'll accept it straight off, no matter who I am. And it's given me that more freedom, and it's just amazing.
So, conversations about trans identities in the media are often focused on the more negative side. How do you think we can move into talking about the more positive stuff? Like, you seem to do more in communities with other people.
I understand why the media focuses on the negative, because that's what sells the newspapers. If you've got a newspaper full of happy things, no one wants to read that, unfortunately. I think you definitely need to, maybe not so much in the newspapers, but we need to start writing more stories about all of the positive experiences we've had personally. Just things like this podcast, just the small things that eventually they just build up into, there's just so that there is that positive media just generally out there online for people to find if they go looking for it, or just generally is just out there. And I think that's a really important step.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. So thank you for being on the show. It's been wonderful to have you.
It's been great to be on the show. I've loved it.
Yeah. This has been Euphoric. Thank you very much for listening. Follow us on Instagram at euphoric.podcast and join us next time where we'll be interviewing another guest. See you then.